Hello and welcome to Walsall United WFC.
Hello and welcome to All for United. We've made it another Friday afternoon. We will do the usual. We will go through last week's results, talk about a few of the games, discuss were we a bit disappointed slightly with the result in the United game, have our views on that, and of course we will have our predictions and we'll talk about this weekend's fixtures. But first, before we start that, I'm joined by John Foster. How are you, John?
Yeah, very good. Thank you, Anthony. Yeah, good results. I think it's good results and potentially some good results to come as well for United. So we're looking forward to how this month can pan out now.
Yeah, no, it's been all right, isn't it? I think before we would have taken a draw at Arsenal, but we'll discuss that in a bit. I'm all right, just in the process of moving back into my mum's, unfortunately, but should save a bit of money. But we'll start with last weekend's results then. Last weekend's results, you had Arsenal, Man United 1-1. You had Chelsea, Man City, Chelsea 1-1-0. You had Everton, who lost to Reading 2-1. You had Birmingham, who lost to Leicester 2-1. Spurs beat Brighton 4-0. And you had Villa 1, West Ham 2. Now, it was an all right weekend for prediction-wise. I did win 16-9 to bring it up to 122 to 99 overall after 14 rounds. But between us, we had two correct scorelines. I had the Arsenal Man United, and so did you. And I also had Leicester to win 2-1 against Birmingham. So it was nice to get a couple of correct scorelines after a bit of a damp spell on the correct predictions. But we'll start with Arsenal Man United for the game, the weekend. We'd have taken a point closer to Europe.
Yep.
But isn't with you, John? I know a lot of people are thinking it. Is there a bit of self, like, if only, like, with the situation we were in, Tooney had that mega chance, and 9 times out of 10 she puts it in. Unfortunately, It was the day that she didn't put it in. They obviously went down to 10 players, and in typical Man United fashion, they sort of went a bit higher and got caught out by a brilliant pass by Wiedemeyer. But that seems to happen quite a bit. But like I was saying to you, John, I reckon we would have been slightly deeper if we were playing against 11. So what are your views?
Yeah, I think you can always go back and say, oh, well, if we had done this, we'd have got 3 points. If this has happened, we would have got 3 points. And I can see why, when you 1-0 up, a player up as well, I can always say, oh, yeah, you've dropped 2 points. But you can also turn around and say, well, if Arsenal took another chance, we could have ended up losing. So, there's always something, there's always something you can turn around and say that could have happened. For me, a point against Arsenal is a good result. It doesn't matter what happens throughout the game, in my opinion. You look back and think, okay, a point's okay. Just purely because where do you draw the line? If you draw and we miss 2 or 3 chances, is that like 3 points dropped because Arsenal had their chances as well? So for me, you have to kind of not keep moving the goalposts. At the start of the game, we'd have been happy with a draw. We got a draw. And I think it's credit to the team and the players and the club to say how far that we've come when twice this season now we've took points again away from the so-called top three, and still found it like disheartening, I guess, because we was hoping to win. Referring to City on that other game as well. So the way I see it is Arsenal. We've played them twice in the past couple of weeks. 1-1, drew one. I think that's good.
Yeah, no, we'd be dead happy with that. Obviously, before that, we had only played them there once and lost. So we've got 1 win, 1 draw, and 1 lose at Boreham Wood, which we should take. And I agree with you, John. Yeah, it's all about if you take this, if you take that. But we could have been 1-1 at half time. That save from Mary,
exactly,
was a brilliant save.
Yeah,
I just, because we're so far away from it, you think, hit the crossbar, and then you watch it back and you realise she tipped it onto the bar, and it was like, a brilliant save. Mm-hmm. But I did enjoy the first half, and I think a lot of us did purely because of the banter with the goalie.
Yeah,
and it's funny how it plays on their minds, because it clearly did. We kept going left. Is she going left? Is she going right? 10-yard keeper, 10-yard keeper. And towards the end of the first half, she started kicking it, didn't she? So it clearly does play on their minds, which I see it as a bit of banter, and I hope she sees it as just we're trying to get. I'm sure she does, most keepers do, but no, that was enjoyable. But
it's not like snooker, Anthony, where you go and the rules are when you watch a snooker game you have to be quiet.
Yeah,
that's not the case. We're there to make a noise. We're there to support our team and to get them over the line. So long as it's not abusive, then we're doing what we can do to help our team.
Yeah, and she could have had an upgrade to Burger King, but unfortunately we drew. So I'd offer a McDonald's at LSV. It'd be a bit easier. Racing's Burger, your Just Eat orders on the way. but moving on to Chelsea Man City, close game. Chelsea did run out 1-0 winners, and they are now the experts' favourites to win the WSL. Do you see momentum shifting their way?
Yeah, based on form, because obviously momentum is based on form. Yeah, I do. I think that the games that we've seen United play against Chelsea have been a different level, and I don't think Arsenal have been a different level now. So I think it's kind of Chelsea's to lose. Obviously, we'll discuss the predictions a little bit later for this week. But yeah, I do. I think Arsenal started off the season really, really well, but they've just gradually slipped away, and it doesn't mean that they haven't picked up points. Obviously, they're still top and doing well, but performances against some of the bigger teams when they're being tested, they faltered. Even against Birmingham, they faltered. Whereas Chelsea, it looks like they're coming strong at the right time. I don't know why that is. Because just ever since the Christmas break, Arsenal, even before the Christmas break, they weren't great. So it looks like Chelsea have hit the ground running after Christmas, as of Man United.
Yeah, no, I agree. Chelsea, obviously, before Christmas, they had their little blip.
Yeah.
Then they didn't play for over a month, which it looks like now it's helped them. I know they were through illness and that, but it looks like the break's done them good, and they've come back. Mm-hmm. And they've just been strong. City, obviously, they're getting their players back now, which is a worry, but it's still advantage United in that sense. But you're always looking over your shoulder. But now it was a close game. Chelsea came out on top, which in theory was good for us. But we'll discuss Everton Reading quickly now. Form contrast is two different ways. Everton, if it wasn't for Birmingham, they could potentially have gone down. I think the only saving grace for them is Birmingham, because they're on the free fall. Said this last week, Everton haven't won a game in the league since October the 3rd, whereas it's been the opposite for Reading. They've not lost since the 3rd of October in the league, and they did have to come from behind against Everton, but it shows you the character with Reading. Like it shows if they're 1-0 down, they've got the character and the fight back. And I think at the start of the season, it just took them a little bit of time to adapt to losing experienced players like Farrell Williams and Agrid James. But now it seems to be coming to fruition. Kelly Chambers is doing a great job there. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, she is absolutely. But just regarding Everton, I mean, you are right. I don't think that they're in any danger of dropping any further. I can't see Birmingham catching, I think, 7 points. There's about 7 points between them, so I can't see Birmingham doing that. But I think what Everton do need to do quickly is make sure that the morale in the club is good, because they will end up losing some key players over the summer. Whether that's going to be down to like a new manager, or I don't know what it's going to take, to be honest. But they need to make sure that this season's pretty much writ off. They just need to make sure that they do probably get one more win, just to definitely confirm that they're staying in the league, which I'm sure they will. But yeah, they just need to make sure they put plans in place for next season there. And to do that, they need to have a happy squad to make sure that no one wants to leave.
Definitely. No, I agree. Because like we've discussed, it's just something's gone wrong with Everton this season for some reason. I don't.
Mm-hmm.
You get teams like that, don't you? It's a bad time to be an Everton fan in all shapes of form, really. The men are down there as well. So worrying times for our Everton supporters. Now we've got Birmingham, Leicester. Leicester won again. I'll discuss the Emily Ramsey situation briefly. She got sent off for a last man, but that has now been rescinded.
Yeah.
So they'll be happy that they've got her back, but they'll feel aggrieved that they had to play with 10 players, and it could have made all the difference. You want the points, yeah, it's great that they've got her back, but it doesn't take away that it potentially lost them the chance of getting points last week against Leicester.
Mm-hmm.
Would you agree?
Yeah, I would. Yeah, just on that. I mean, it was a shame. Obviously, she got sent off, and I'm glad it has been rescinded, because there's no way that was intentional. So
yeah,
she went for the ball. Therefore, it should have been the caution. It should have been a yellow card and a penalty. Obviously, it went to a red card. But yeah, we said last week, if Leicester win this game, then they're probably going to be safe. Obviously, still too early to call, but I still stand by that. If I had to make a prediction one way or the other, there's about 5 point gap now. Birmingham, means Birmingham need to win about 2 games and maybe a draw. Leicester will probably get 1 point minimum from now to the end of the season. So Birmingham somewhere has got to get like 3 points. Points in 3 games. That's going to be very tough for them now. Not completely impossible, but it doesn't look good for them. But yeah, Leicester deserve to win that game, definitely.
Yeah, no, I agree. And now Tottenham, Brighton, possibly.
Yeah.
Not a shocking sense of the team won, but more of a shock of the scoreline. 4-0.
Yeah.
I didn't see the game, but have you seen any highlights? Because I'm wondering where they got them 4 goals from. Normally, you associate Tottenham with close games. That's why we went for 1-0, 1-1, 2-1, or something, because we associate them with being a scrape in the win.
We're basing it on, like you said, we are basing it on what we've seen this season, and there's always going to be those moments where something out of the ordinary is going to happen, and scoring 4 goals for Tottenham is out the ordinary. It's going to happen at some point. Brighton, we've saying this from week one. You know, you never know what you're going to get from them. That kind of showed last week. Has that made Tottenham now really go for it? You know, I've said pretty much all season. Even last week, I said City is still our main rivals for top three. I still stand by that one. However, if we do get the win against City, it's pretty sure it's going to be down to us and Spurs now. So it's going to be it was a very useful result for Spurs, not just for points, but also to get their momentum, and they'll be thinking to themselves now that they could possibly get a lot more points for the rest of the season, and it's just whether or not we can keep our bottle and make sure that we do things our end.
Yeah, no, I agree. Yeah, you just got to do what we got to do, one game at a time, like Skinner said to me, because I said I got a bit carried away after the Arsenal game and went, "We're going on a European tour," and then I was like to Mark, "Actually, no, just ignore that. I'm getting a bit carried away." And he went, "Yeah, one game at a time." So he is wise with his words, Mark. So
yeah.
Fingers crossed we'll learn from last season and we'll make it. And then before we do go on to this week's fixtures, quickly we'll discuss the Villa West Ham game. It was a tight game. We did think it'd be tight, but West Ham came out 2-1 winners. I know it'll be a bit frustrating for you because you said you like seeing the Brummy teams win, do well. But West Ham just had enough on the day to get the 3 points, and they'll be dead chuffed, especially 3 points away from home.
Yeah, the All-Free United team went to watch that game. So me, Natalie, Connor, and Mark Stanyard, we was all there watching that game. And
was it a deserved 3 points or?
Yeah, pretty much. If it was a draw, not the end of the world, you could probably say that. But for me, I just don't think Villa's pushed on from the start of the season. I think where other teams have kind of built their momentum and gradually got better, I just think that they've kind of just like leveled out and kind of been overtook a little bit. A lot of fans were saying Elise Lehmann's kind of like one of their best players in the stadium at the time. And I have seen an improvement. I've seen Villa play about 4 or 5 times live this season. And I do think that she has gradually got better. And if anyone's going to make something happen, it's her technique and her drive towards the goal that does make things happen. And she did have a good game, I thought, this week. But I think it takes more than that. I think she needs to be more consistent. I think the players up front need to be a bit more, not consistent, but more creative as well. They always seem organised. But for me, I think, West Ham did deserve that win just about. And it was a shame because they did start off okay, but they just couldn't get enough chances for me.
Yeah, no, that's fair enough. So that rounds up last weekend's results. We'll start with Friday night's game, which is a biggie. It's Chelsea v Arsenal. The experts have Chelsea at 4-5 favourites. The draw at 11-4 and 12-5 for the Arsenal win. It is Arsenal who are first, but Chelsea do have an all-important game in hand. So this fixture's vital for both of them, but you'd say it's more vital for Arsenal with Chelsea having the game in hand, and if they win the game in hand, they go top. So do you think that Arsenal can do the double over them? Because would you say Arsenal lacking in a bit of confidence at the moment, or?
Yeah, definitely. They'll be lacking in confidence. They might not see that. Like, I don't think they'll say that publicly, and I don't think they'll go into the game thinking that they're underdogs. But they know that they've only got to look at recent results to know, hang on, we've got a player to ask in here to do something special, because Chelsea aren't going to hand it to them. Let's put it that way. So Arsenal have to be on the top of their form, don't they? And I think they probably will be. I think they probably will raise the game. I think the comeback against United last week will help that. I know a draw probably isn't what they was after, but it could have been a lot worse for them. So I think, coming from behind last week, they'll have that little bit of momentum there. They'll know that they can beat Chelsea. So, I think they'll have that going for them. But it's a game that could go absolutely any way, couldn't it? Either team could win this. It's a bit like last week with Birmingham and Leicester, both at the bottom, 2 points in it. These are both at the top, 2 points in it. I don't think that the title will be decided. I must admit that. I don't think the title will be decided just on this game. I think the league's a bit too strong at the moment. Chelsea still have to play United last game of the season. So I think we can't really turn around and say if so-and-so wins, they've won the title. However, it's definitely in their hands if whoever does get the win.
Yeah, no. And also, regarding it, Chelsea have pretty much got a full squad, whereas Arsenal will be missing a few key players. McCabe obviously suspended after sending off. Leah Williamson and Woman Moy, they're still out with knocks. I did read somewhere they're confident Tobin Heath would be around, but potentially she might have to start off the bench. So, but Chelsea will be full of confidence. You've got Sam Kerr back now, who's a pain in the arse for anyone. But it doesn't matter who Chelsea play ever. They got so much depth, and they'll want revenge for the win that Arsenal did have. Because if you remember, Arsenal did win it, but it wasn't without controversy, was it? I believe, if I remember right, there was an offside in the build-up.
Yeah.
For one of the goals, and potentially one of the goals was from a ball that went out, if I remember rightly. So long ago, I'm pretty sure it was first game of the season. So,
yeah, I think Arsenal. I still think Arsenal deserve to win that game, even without that controversy. And that's. But again, it's a different time now. It's Arsenal are kind of like a different team now, based on like performances I'm on about. So
yeah,
look, it could go either way.
Why do you think their form is slightly dipped?
There's that expression, is the new manager bounce, all that kind of stuff. I think it was a bit more detailed than that. But when the new manager came in, he had a system to play, and I think the players adapted to it really well. But I don't think that they've actually moved on from there. And I think that Chelsea had a poor start. They weren't great at the start. Even when they won us 6-1, their performers weren't great. So I just think that Chelsea got stronger. Other teams have got stronger. And it's kind of like showing Arsenal up a little bit. So I think that's pretty much it. I don't think it's anything down to like the players not being good enough or anything like that. I just think that, the start of the season so well. I think now they're just levelling out. I think that's all it is. They're just levelling it out. I don't think there was the team that should be running away with the title, which is the way it looked for the first couple of months potentially. I think they're a team that should be challenging for the title, and I think that that's the position that they're in now. As for score prediction, I am going to go for a Chelsea 2-1 win. It could quite easily be the other way around. It could be a draw. I know the experts have got it very tight, and they got it tight for a reason. But yeah, I'm just going to base this purely on the last 3 or 4 games, really. I think I'm going by that.
Yeah, pretty much the same result as me. Scoreline as me. I've gone for 2. I'm looking at, like you said, the previous scorelines. They've all been close, like 2-1, 3-2, and that. So yeah, I just feel Chelsea will have a bit too much for Arsenal on the day. Just full of confidence at the moment. But like you said, it could go either way. I think we'd take a point potentially. If it was a draw, we'd be happy regarding first and second. But third is our main aim. So, but no, we're in agreement with a 2-1, which is normally it's a good scoreline to predict. So that's Chelsea Arsenal. Now we'll move on to the most important game of the weekend. Man City v Man United at the Academy Stadium. Now, I believe it's a sellout, which is great news for women's football. They have City as 4-5 favourites, a draw at 13-5, 5-2 for the win for United. It's third v sixth with a 5-point gap, but it doesn't necessarily reflect on City how they've recently done. They've been getting their players back now. Ellie Roebuck was back last week. So they're definitely going to be even more tougher to beat, especially when their players that have been out injured get back to full match fitness. I feel they will push on. But we've just got to do our job, as Skinner says, one game at a time. But do you think that United can get something here with the confidence and belief? I can't see why why they can't get anything at the Academy Stadium. Obviously, City will be well up for it, and they got their players back. But
I think it's swapped, Anthony. I think this is the first season now, or this is the first time that we've played each other where United, in my opinion, United are going in as the best side, the best team. We're going to be looking at what we've achieved in the last few months and think, okay, we're the better team here. And you said City will be up for it. That's the way it used to be. Oh, United will be up for it.
Yeah.
City being the better team and United would be up for it. But this time I think United should be the favourites and City will be up for it. I'm not discrediting what City have done lately, and it's going to be a real tough game for us and for them as well. City will be up for it. I think it means a lot to them if they don't win. Potentially their top three hopes will be over, especially if they lose. I can't see them getting above United, or well, they wouldn't get above United. I don't think if they lose a draw would put Spurs right in contention as well. So there's no doubt City will be up for it on the home soil as well. But for me, we have to think about this game as favourites. This is the most important game of the month. We knew that from the start. Okay, you could argue cups are important as well, but I think most of the fans at the moment would have thought, okay, well, if we get top three, we'll be happy. So I think a lot of the preparation work for this month would build towards this. Has that kind of influenced some of the substitutions and the starting 11s going into this game? Yeah, it probably has. We probably looked at some of the previous tough games and chose the starting 11s and substitutions maybe based on maybe this game as well to a point. But yeah, we should be confident going into this. And for the first time ever, I think I'm going to predict a United win, not just a draw. So I won't give the score away just yet.
No worries. But it's interesting about the experts, though. Regarding the WSL, even though we're in our positions, you can get City at 14-1 to win the WSL, but it is still 100-1 for United to win the WSL.
That's a mistake, isn't it? That's got to be a mistake. 14-1 and 100-1. The difference there is massive.
You would think so, but you never know. You do wonder where they get their odds from sometimes. Like, is it just someone who reads a book? Oh, City have won the league here and they've been above here, so yeah, we'll put United.
Well, just look at the league table for a start. I mean, there's no way. There's no way Carmen we're 100-1. No way. And there's no way City are 14-1. Because if that was the case, then the odds of winning this game, City shouldn't be 4-5 or 5-4-1. So, yeah, I don't know what's happened with that one. But
I'll have to message them and ask.
Yeah, say, yeah, did you come to this conclusion? Yeah.
I'll be like, do you know anything about the women's game? Because why has this happened? But just before we do, I do ask for your score prediction. Where do you think the game will be won and lost?
Good question. I think what we need to do is continue being what we're good at, and that's being very tight and at the back. I think we will create chances. We just got to make sure that we don't do anything stupid at the back. I think for 7 games on the trot, we didn't. So I think we need to carry on doing that. I think no matter who we choose in the midfield, they just need to be very, not aggressive, but they need to be very strong in tackles. They just need to be very well controlled and organised. I think if we do that and protect the back four, then I think our chances will come. And I hope that's the case. So I think for me, just sounds silly, but I think if we keep a clean sheet, we can quite easily nick a goal. So that's kind of where I'm leaning towards. How about yourself, Anthony? I mean, where do you kind of see City's danger coming from?
Good question. Where do I see the?
Yeah, I mean, if
obviously Lauren Hemp for me is the one to watch out for.
Yeah.
She's been their best player. I think purely she hasn't been out injured, as she's done well. I think Lauren Hemp saw the danger, but then they're all danger. You can't rule them all out. It's going to be a lot harder to score past them. Well, I don't say a lot harder, but we're not going to get gifts that we got at Old Trafford. Not Old Trafford, sorry, LSV in the previous derby, where the goalkeeper, I feel, should have saved at least one of them. So we are going to have to score proper. But Russo's on top of her game. You got Cena, who's only going to get better. She's only just came in, so give her a little time, but she will. She could be the difference. But I don't think he'll make too many changes, Mark. I'd like to see Boarisa play, but it's a hard one because you want to see Boarisa play and Jackie play.
And Tooney play.
You need Lad in and you need Tooney somewhere. But you know he's not going to drop Zellum.
Not going to drop Tooney. Not going to drop...
shouldn't... Tooney doesn't deserve to be dropped. Well, saying that, it's a weird one, isn't it? Because Zellum is actually doing really well. I think it's just people highlight because it seems to lead to a goal more for them. But sometimes it's because she's trying to do that killer ball, and sometimes it pays off, but other times
the stats show that it has been paying off. Because
that's what Maria said earlier. I saw a thing about centre back being the hardest, but you don't want to be known as a boring centre back, just passing. You have to take the risks. So for me, I've gone for a draw. I've gone for a 2-2 draw.
Ooh.
I think there'll be goals. But what about you? You've already said you're going to go for a United win.
Yeah, I'm going to go for United 2-1. And I'm saying that for probably the first time where I actually feel that we can actually win 2-1. Sometimes, I say I'll be happy with a draw.
Yeah.
Or I might be in the ground saying, yeah, we can win this. I'm actually going in a bit more confident. And that doesn't mean that we're going to win, of course. I just think that we have every reason to believe that we can win this game. We've been to Boreham Wood, put on 2 great shows. I can't see why we should be scared about City. And we also know that if we do win this game, not only does it make us a lot more likely to be in top 3, but it also knocks City down a peg or 2, and they won't be able to make top 3. If they don't make top 3, they won't be able to get a better squad next season, and it closes the gap between us and City even more. So I think a lot's riding on this. City will be feeling the pressure more than us, and I really hope if we get that early goal, let's see what happens there. So 2-1 United for me.
Okay, interesting. Fingers crossed we win. So we'll go on to the Everton Villa game now. You can get Everton at 6-5, a draw at 12-5, and Villa at 17-10. It's 9th v 10th, and there's only 2 points between each other. But it shows you how far Everton have fallen. They're still on 11 points. but they got them 11 points in the first month. They got at least 9 or 10 of them points in the first month of the new WSL season, and they just continue going into free fall. And like I said, I feel like if Birmingham weren't so bad, then Everton would be in real danger of going down. But Everton are at home. Villa, you don't know what you get with them. Can you see Everton getting anything this week? They've obviously still not got a manager in place.
Yeah. This has got a draw written all over it on paper, hasn't it? But I don't think I'm going to say. I don't think I'm going to say a draw. Just because I think, in my opinion, I think it could quite easily be a draw. So I'm going to try and do something a little bit outlandish. But Everton, I can see them potentially.
Although you do realise you're meant to predict what you think the score will be.
I know, yeah. I just think that's like it's just potentially just too easy, just because they're so both close together, and none of them are looking great. But yeah, do I think Everton can get something from this? Yes, based on Aston Villa's poor performance, nothing to do with themselves. I just think that Aston Villa, like I said earlier, they haven't kicked on either, have they? Everton are at home, so they could quite easily.
Do you think Everton are going to win?
Maybe, but then again, maybe not. I'm going to surprise you, actually, Anthony. I'm going to turn it around. I do think Villa's going to win. I do think this is the one where Villa can potentially pick up some points. I don't think that they'll dominate the game, but I do think that they'll take a chance or two. But I'll let you have a bit of a chat and give your prediction. Then I'll give you mine as well.
Yeah, no. I think it's a mind thing now with Everton. Like, we all know results. You either make, if you're doing really well, you're on cloud 9. If you're doing really bad, and the Everton are just on that. I don't get why they're in this position though. Like, they did buy they bought loads of players, but they're just not clicking as a squad, it seems. I know they got Lucy Graham back on the weekend. I saw someone tweet earlier, so that will be a boost for them. But for some reason, they just haven't clicked as a squad. For some reason, they started well, but since then they've just not been with it. Villa, they had a good start as well, and then which helped. There is 2 or 3 teams that if they hadn't had a good start to the season, they would be in real risk of going down. So because of that, them starts, I think they're safe, and because Birmingham's quality and that, I just don't think they'll get enough points to make a fight of it.
Yeah.
So, but then it can't help changing manager all the time. But we discussed, because their unrest was they're not happy with the manager, and that it's all hush hush, isn't it? You don't find out these things a lot these days. Result-wise, you did say it. You said it's got a draw written all over it, and I agree, because I've gone for a 1-1 draw. I just feel like neither team is going to have that bit of extra to do it. But what about you, score-wise?
I've gone for Villa 1-0, and I'm basing that on, even though Villa lost last week.
You think they'll keep a clean sheet?
Yes, but that's only because I think some of the goals that Villa have conceded have been individual errors. I think the goalkeeper got a bit of bad luck, and she made a mistake on the weekend when we lost. I was supporting Villa at the time.
Yeah.
Villa lost to West Ham, so I think if they can just iron out these creases a little bit, I don't think they'll be. I just don't think they're going to concede. If it was against a better team, it's different, and I think West Ham are better than Everton. So based on this kind of logic, I just think that Aston Villa can keep a clean sheet against Everton. It's just whether or not they can break Everton down. So I was considering a 0-0 or a 1-0 Villa. I've gone for a 1-0 Villa in the hope that they can just create something. And like I said, they managed to do okay on the weekend, but nothing great. West Ham was a better team than Everton, so I'm hoping that maybe Villa can break Everton down a little bit more easily. So yeah, that's my logic behind it. So I'm going to go for a 1-0 Villa.
Fair dues. Very interesting points there. So we'll now move on to Birmingham v Tottenham. We all know Birmingham's troubles. Bottom of the league with 4 points. Tottenham are fourth with 24 points. No surprise. You can get Birmingham at 15-2, a draw at 9-2. And Tottenham was favourites at 2-9. Birmingham, obviously, we discussed the sending off. They really needed to beat Leicester last week, and they didn't. They got that great win against Arsenal, but they need to be getting the wins against the teams that are down towards the bottom, not like Everton and Villa, teams like Brighton who are not confident. But for some reason, even when they do play them, they just can't get the results. Tottenham, we discussed 4-0. They must have been on some Duracell juice or something, or had extra shooting practice, because 4 goals.
Yeah,
they would have been dead chuffed. And goal difference wise as well is going to help. Obviously, United are in a good position with goal difference wise. +9. Tottenham are still on like 1 or -2 or something. But it is at St Andrews. But for me, I can only see one winner. Just think Tottenham will keep that pressure on Europe. Just think they've got more quality over the pitch. Personally, we know they're tight at the back. And like I said, it's a confidence thing. Tottenham will be full of confidence. Birmingham won't. But then you never know. Birmingham are looking for the North London sweep. So, what are your thoughts on this game? How things are going to plan out? Have Birmingham got a chance?
First of all, I think Tottenham might go into this game already knowing the results of the United game. Is that right? I'm sure United are the early.
Yeah, early kickoff. Yeah.
So potentially, if United don't win that game, Spurs could know that if they get the win at Birmingham, that they could go into the top 3. Will that impact anything? Probably not, but it'll definitely give them a big G up if City do win, and knowing that if they win a team that they should be winning, then they'll go into the top 3 spots. So I do fancy Tottenham. If you can't really say not. I do think they'll have too much for Birmingham, and being at St Andrews, I don't think means too much, if I'm honest, for a number of reasons that I don't particularly want to get into. But I don't think that's going to make too much of a difference.
Is it to do with like they're at Birmingham, but they don't really have the support?
I just don't think that it's going to be an atmosphere that's going to really hinder Tottenham at all.
No, not like when we come to town.
No, not at all. So yeah, I think I do see Tottenham as clear favourites. You have to say that. You mentioned about Tottenham scoring 4 goals last week. I don't think they'll score 4 this week, but I don't think they'll be far off. Probably giving my prediction away a little bit here, but yeah, I just you can't really say. Look, Tottenham's going to be up for it. They deserve to be where they are. They had a bit of a bad run of form that allowed us back in there, and even Reading and City are in the talking points. But it looks like they pushed that away last week. They have to win Birmingham if they want top 3. It's as simple as that. You can't go dropping points against Birmingham. So, yeah, I do fancy Tottenham's going to be up for it. They're going to come out guns blazing, and it's just how much pressure Birmingham can kind of withhold before they concede the first goal.
Who says they'll concede the first goal?
Oh, interesting. Yeah, you never know.
Yeah. But no, I do agree with you. I fully expect Tottenham to win, but I have been generous and given Birmingham a goal in my predictions.
Oh, okay.
But I just don't think they'll. I think Tottenham will just have too much for them. So that's why I've gone for 3-1. I just feel like they'll nick a goal from somewhere, which they can do. They did against Leicester, even though they were playing with 10. So for me, that's why I've gone for 3-1. But you can never say never. But I don't feel they'll do the double. I just think Tottenham, they're riding high now after their blip. So I've gone for 3-1. What about you, John?
Yeah, I've gone for 3-0. Yeah, maybe they can scrape that one goal potentially. Yeah, but I've gone for a 3-0, and I think it's going to be a shame for Birmingham, because I think gradually, week by week, they'll kind of see things slipping out of their hands and slipping out of the grasp. So yeah, I think this could be the start of something maybe poor for Birmingham there.
Yeah, no, I agree. So we'll move on to Brighton Reading now. You can get Brighton at 2-1, a draw 12-5, and Reading at 21-20. Obviously, Reading favourites on their 5th with a game in hand. So that is interesting. So you can't rule out Reading for 3rd. Brighton are 8th. But like Everton, they are on free fall. Now, where is it going wrong? If it carries on, could you see Hope Powell potentially losing her job?
No, not yet. Or maybe I know I don't, because I think that would be extremely harsh. I think there's teams below her that deserve to be there. I don't think Brighton will finish in the bottom 4. So I think Brighton's ambitions will be to be higher than 8th, 9th, but I think you also have to be a bit realistic as well. So I think that would be unfair. I think if they end up falling in like the bottom 2 or 3, then maybe. But no, I think if they finish in the bottom 4, then I think they should be okay. They just need to build on it in the summer. As for Reading, I think Reading's on probably not the best form I've ever seen them in since I've been following women's football. Does that mean one of two things? Are they due a loss or due dropping points, or does it mean that they're favourites to carry this on? And again, all the stats and everything point towards a Reading win here. Anthony, every week you say you don't know what you're going to get with Brighton. I don't think. I mean, this could potentially be one of those games. We don't know.
I've just realised it's at it's in Crawley, so unfortunately, I'm not going to the next couple of United games due to just money. So I might take the trip.
Yeah.
To there, and so I can bring a bit of content when we do the next, just how the teams both played. So
yes, absolutely.
Only down the road. So I'll look into going to that game.
It'll be interesting for you to see just exactly how Reading are setting up and what they're doing to actually put this spell on, because they are in the race for the top 3. They're not the favourites in my opinion, but based on form, they should be. That they are right up there. But let's not forget United's form as well. So let's not get too carried away regarding the top 3 race. As for this game, though, yeah, I do fancy Reading for the win.
Yeah, no, so do I. What have you gone prediction wise?
I've gone for a 2-0. I was thinking about, can Brighton get a goal? Yes, they can. But I'm just basing this again on form. I just think that Reading's going to probably have too much for them. So yeah, I'm going to go for a 2-0 Reading.
Snap.
So what's that? Is that 3 out of 5 so far? We've got the same scores?
No, it's just the 2.
Okay.
Just the first one and this one. I'm like you. I feel Brighton can score. They have got players like Danielle Carter that can find the net, or Ellie Brazil, Eileen Whelan could get a penalty. So they could score. But I'm with you. I feel like with the form they're both on and that, the confidence of Reading, I feel they'll get another 2-0, but you never know. Look at Everton; they scored against Reading last week, and I did go for 2-0 Reading last week. So, but it'll be an interesting one. I'll go to Brighton and be chewing on Brighton because it'd be good for us, considering, especially with their game in hand. But goal difference is going to be a big factor. Again, we are in a bit of a better position this season regarding goal difference because our goal difference is better than City's, but it's only better by about 6 goals. So we could do. Obviously, it's not going to happen. Oh, could you imagine if we did a City at Old Trafford, but we did it at the Academy Stadium and won 6-1?
Absolutely, yeah.
I'd be gutted I didn't go, but I'd be like, but it would be brilliant. But funny things have happened in football, but yeah, I'll wake up now. So, but no, regarding Reading, I think Brighton. I just don't know where it's going. They got some good players, Brighton. I just don't know what's going wrong. I don't know if it's just teams performing like the likes of Reading and Tottenham, but it's a hard one, isn't it? I think, I agree with you. I think Hope Powell will be all right, but you never know. She's been there a long time. If they change their direction and want something a bit different, potentially she could be in trouble. But I don't think she is now. I agree with you. But we'll go on to the last game, which is Leicester v West Ham. They both won last time out. It's 11th v 7th. West Ham are on 20 points at 7th, so they're not a million miles away even from that group. Mm-hmm. You can get 11-4 for Leicester, 13-5 the draw. West Ham are 8-11 favourites. They obviously, Leicester came out on top of the relegation 6-pointer, which was a much needed breathing space. 5-point gap now. West Ham will feel ecstatic after beating Villa. Not an easy place to go to, Villa. So they'll be on a high. We know how West Ham do play. They are tough nut to crack. Ollie Harder's doing a good job there. They don't give up. Leicester, I say it time and time again, they've got the players to be picking up points. And it's that thing, isn't it? If Birmingham weren't in, I'm almost gutted Birmingham's so poor because it would be great if there was like a point gap between 3 or 4 teams going into the last game of the season, and we had that like super six thing. Can you imagine Chris Camara on it? Oh my God, Jeff! Leicester have just gone down. Oh, and then won't come in from there. Oh, I know Birmingham are in the relegation zone. I don't believe it. And then but
just think, Anthony. I mean, Birmingham had to rely on that win against Arsenal to still be in this. I mean, they had that much to win. They'd
be on 1 point, wouldn't they? So
exactly. It's a crazy thing to look at.
It proves that they can beat anyone, but it's consistency, unfortunately. Yeah, you could. Yeah, I'd take 5 wins over beating Arsenal, but it's a weird one to predict. This one, I don't think it will actually be plain sailing. Mm-hmm. I feel Leicester potentially could get something out of this game. Yeah. Now, when I always back Leicester, they let me down. Although last week they didn't let me down. They gave me 5 points in my prediction. I did worry when they were 2-0 up with 10 players. So I feel like Leicester were a bit wasteful, but I'm thankful for that. But what are your thoughts quickly, because obviously we're
Yeah, consider time.
fine.
Yeah, I'm going to go against the grain a little bit. I think I actually fancy Leicester to pick something up here. I think West Ham deserve to be where they are throughout the course of the season. West Ham are in a different level to Leicester based on the season so far. However, I do fancy a draw. I think Leicester's tails will be up. I think they'll go from strength to strength now that they've got that win against Birmingham. I'm not going to say they're going to keep on gaining points, but I do think that they'll be able to gain points on this game. So based on form a little bit, and based on maybe a bit of momentum and what it would mean to Leicester just to get something out of this game, I'm going to go for a Leicester draw here. So 2-2.
Or are you going for 2-2? And there was me thinking you were going to say 1-1.
Oh, okay. No, I've gone for a few goals.
Yeah.
Maybe not.
No, I've gone for a draw, but I've gone for 1-1.
Okay.
Yeah. But I just feel like it's one of them kind of games where Leicester will pick a point up, which they'll be happy with. It's another point closer to safety.
Yeah.
With West Ham, yeah, they can get the win. Obviously, they got the win at Villa Park. But for me, I just feel after last week and that, I just feel Leicester can get something. But you never know, do you?
Never know.
Why we predict and hope that we get them right. But as you can see, we're not always right. But I think potentially 16 points might have been my highest scoring week. I can't remember. I might have got an 18 one week, but don't count on that. But that wraps the results. Well, this week's games. So that is it. Tonight, I believe we got Fans Forum.
Yeah, Fans Forum as usual. Saturday Night Live on Saturday, and then at Match Day content on Sunday. And I believe I will shout this out as well. A player that we've been sponsoring on All For United WFC for the last season, Jordan Bailey. She has been out injured. It was a long injury. She's due back playing this Sunday. So shout out to Jordan as well. But what a massive game it's going to be, Derby. And if we win, I think that's Man City out of it. Does that mean that the manager will get sacked? Maybe not. Maybe not sacked right away, but end the season maybe. We'll have to see. But lots of excitement here.
Yeah, no, it's great news that Jordan Bailey's going to be back. Obviously, couldn't have been easy for her with a long-term injury, and especially at this level where you rely on working as well, because it's just a hobby at that level, isn't it?
Yeah.
Really.
Yeah.
So no, it's good that Jordan's back, and I hope her recovery and she can get some momentum going game time. So that's great. And I'll try and bring some content from the Pension People Stadium. So, but thanks for listening, everyone. Hopefully we are celebrating a Derby win. Until next time, take care.